Hey, welcome back to the HartfulFlash's channel. I said that I would try upload more rants, and that's what I'm going to do. So, for this week's rant on what is March the 20th, hold on, let me check my calendar. Yes, or no, 21st, March 21st, we are going to do a rant as a bright light about what I'm going to do as a project soon. A writing project. We're talking about how video games make the youth violent, which I'm going to argue on my case that it doesn't. Because let's see some facts here for a second here. I said here twice. Video games only really started to be popular in the 1960s. The first one came out in the 1940s, where a guy used a radar system to follow the points, where the points on the dots on the radar were the thing. It was entertaining. It was called a video game. But they really got popular in the 60s with arcades. Now, violence then wasn't that high, but then again the games weren't that violent. It was like Pac-Man, Galaga, all the arcade games that you don't really think of as being rated M. Now, games really got violent in the 90s with Quake, Doom, and Wolfenstein, all those violent games. That's where people started to think that video games were making people violent. First-person shooters came out and were popular. Now, what people assume is that kids that play those games will think it's okay to do this. None more so than Grand Theft Auto, which is a very controversial game. Now, thing is though, is that violence has been around for a long time, so has crime. Much longer than just a few decades ago, which is actually now 20 years ago, because this is 2014. So it's been 20 years since I believe Quake came out, and violence, I mean, it's been everywhere. It's been this way for hundreds of years. I mean, they've always had violence. Rome had crimes, and I don't think they had Grand Theft Auto or Mortal Kombat in the time of Julius Caesar. So whenever people say, oh, games are making people violent, people have always been violent. It's not just a game that's making people violent. So, let's take a look here for a second. If people have always been violent before video games have come out, why are they saying now that video games are making people violent? Why do they say that? Well, let's take a look here. Before, in the 60s and 70s, around that time, disco had come out. Now, the generation before disco preferred rock and roll. And they didn't like disco. They said that was making kids just rowdy. And they were saying drugs were making kids rowdy because it was new. So, when something new comes out, it seems like the older generation often targets it as being what's increasing crime rates, when that's not necessarily true. In the sense of video games, people have said, whenever they're caught doing crimes, that they like playing a game. That's why Grand Theft Auto is so controversial, is because teenagers could be caught for a crime, and then they would say, oh, I really like Grand Theft Auto. Well, then people will automatically assume Grand Theft Auto made them want to do that. Not necessarily. I mean, I like Grand Theft Auto, and I'm not going to go rob a bank. That's stupid. So really, who are the people that are truly doing these crimes? Well, if you think about it, who are the kids playing Grand Theft Auto? They'll probably have the money to buy the game, or they'll be in some good neighborhood with parents that could purchase the game for them. Well, these kids, if they have the money to play Grand Theft Auto, then they'll probably do what I do or what a lot of friends do, and they'll just play the game. They won't go outside. Who wants to go outside? Come on, it's Grand Theft Auto. So, if you're staying inside, then you're not committing the crimes. It's the people that don't have these games that probably want them, or they know them, but they don't have the money for them. They're going to be probably committing crimes, but they'll be on loads of other stuff too. And they won't be playing video games. Now, if they like video games, that's one thing. But if they're not playing the video games because they can't buy the video games, then how are video games what are making them commit crimes? It's obvious that if they're poor and they want money or they want some other stuff, then it's those things that are making them want crimes. I just shook the camera. But it's not video games alone that are increasing crime rates. So, in this rant, we've been going on for close to 6 minutes, and the thing is that video games don't increase crime rates. And I'm sure a lot of you younger people that do play video games, you'll probably agree with me that video games do not increase the crime rates. Crime rates have gone up and down for years in multiple cultures. And it's really only America, I feel, that says that crime rates are increasing due to violent video games. This is not true. Video games only increase entertainment. They are not increasing crime rates. They do not lead to an increase of crime rates. So this has been a rant about people that say video games increase crime, which I feel is false. You may not share that agreement. You may disagree completely with me. If you do, leave a comment down below. You can also find me on Twitter, jkhart123, and you can tweet me. I check Twitter sometimes. You can just put that in there. Rants with HartfulFlash. Leave a like and a comment on this video. I'll be sure to look at it. Leave a topic for what you want to hear a rant about next week. I had to come up with this one quickly since I had a day or two to think of what to say. I only had the research that I already had. So please, leave a topic, leave a like, and I will see you people later.